the people of Jamaica. When you pick up the paper to read it, and you see the minister, the sad-looking minister, what is it that you are trying to imply? Caroline? I think Abby's back.
When you go out and you're working in the greenhouse, or you're working in the field, or you're doing packing or something of that nature, that is agricultural overseas employment program. That's what we call real farm work. In the US, what we have primarily is the H-2B. The H-2A in the US is agricultural, and we do have that, but primarily in the US, we have the hospitality, which is H-2B, which is the persons who are going up to become chefs, cleaners, front desk. I don't know, tell me what else could it be? You know, whatever it is, all right? Now, if you have an interest in the agricultural program, the easiest route is through your constituency. When we give out the allotments to the various leaders in the constituencies, and you get into the pool of persons, and it's picked from there for you to go to one of the farms. And the same thing for America. If you are in the hospitality field and you have an interest in housekeeping, or you have a certificate like Mara Lee says she has a certificate from City and Guilds. So somebody like you, bartenders, all of you, cooks, if you have the experience and the certification, then you need to send me your resume. What do I mean by experience? I don't mean like Abby, who claims she can cook because she cooked one scrambled egg. I'm talking about somebody who actually has experience working in a restaurant, and you experience working at a hotel, or experience working at a boutique space where you learn how to do the housekeeping, not just the certification, but the experience. And usually 2 years experience, that's what they ask for. So if you're that person, put your resume together, and then when we do the call, you'll send in those resumes. Now, I'm not gonna go too long on the farm work, but I just want to say this as well. Outside of the agriculture and the hospitality, you have other forms of overseas employment that people have interest in. Welding, nursing, different things. Many of those things go through employment agencies and not through the government. But what we're doing now is we are expanding the opportunities. Hold on one second. Natoya Bertram, Wentworth. Watch it now. We're expanding the opportunities, and we are actually developing some new streams for the government overseas employment program. I'm going to be announcing that very soon. But let me give you, first ever in 2026, a taste of what I'm talking about. And J says that resumes sent to me don't get acknowledged. I can't correlate you because I'm the worst when it comes down to that. So I'm going to actually give you an email that's not mine, so you can send it to the person who's the secretary. Because I really can't correlate you. I don't check emails as much as I should. But as I said to you, we're opening up particularly for persons who have skills in heavy equipment, and farming equipment. So if you have a skill in driving or operating rather that kind of equipment, then you can start to put your resume together, get your experience, and get something to prove that you can do it, so we can get you into the programs when they open up. And I'll announce that when I do my sectoral. All right. Okay. So enough on farm work. I'm gonna move now. Of course, if you have any more questions, you can put it through. Pastry chef, Chantel, yes. I mean, chef is chef, right? So anybody who has the experience, they will take you. But again, it really depends on the request. It's not as simple as I'm a chef, I have the experience, I have the certification, let me go. For you to be placed, there has to be a place. Okay, there has to be a request. There has to be a vacancy. There has to be someone who says, I need X or Y. And so that's where the ministry comes in to manage that. So I will serve as that facilitator. All right, so let me move on. Abby?
All right, so Minister, please tell us more about the Hurricane Recovery Program for shelter and also roofs.
Well, let me say good night. I see that you're not alone.
Yeah.
I just know this gentleman as Hello Neighbor. Is that the name?
Yeah.
That's your TikTok name?
Yeah, Hello Neighbor.
All right. So hello Neighbor and Abby. Good night to you both. We are here now. We had a long session in Parliament, and so it's very important for me to come on to discuss the Shelter Recovery Program. And this is the first time I'm discussing this program since the launch in any public way. So you know that this space
exclusive.
the exclusive space. And I realize that there are some persons out there that are manipulating images and voices to their own benefit. I saw something this morning with me discussing with George Davis and talking about salary increase and all these things. Total scam, false. But again, you have to be very careful, very aware, very alert, and ensure that you do not get scammed by these persons who are trying to get your information and trying to get your money. They don't always ask you for money. Sometimes they ask you to send them your ID, send them your information. That's just as bad as sending your money, because access to your information can then allow them to replicate your identity and use it in many other ways. All right, so be very, 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 very careful, please. Only through the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Crystal, I'm afraid too. Be afraid. Make sure that if you have any interest in getting benefit through the government program relating to shelter recovery, it's only through what? What did I say it is through? Somebody type it for me. What did I say it's through? Only through what? I don't see nobody type it. Only through what? The ministry. Yes, Paris. Yes, Jojo. Yes, only through Aries Pride, only through the Ministry of Labor and Social. Nobody else. Anybody else? Scammer. Understand that. Now, the program is a comprehensive program. What it is, Abby, is the government's very deliberate and strategic approach to ensuring that we can put people in safe, resilient spaces. And what we have done is we've created this umbrella program that consolidates all of the government initiatives around repair and rehabilitation. What does that mean? We have 6 key initiatives that are geared towards helping people get back to where they were or in a better position than they were. Number 1 is what we call the ROOFs program. That is the program where the $10 billion initial allocation will be utilized to give cash grants to person based on the assessments done by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So if you are assessed and you're found to be within the minor, major, or severe damage category, you will be receiving under roofs $75,000, $200,000, or $500,000 respectively. Now, it is important to note, Abby, if you get support under the roofs component of SRP, you will not get support under any other component. And if you get support under another one of the components, you won't get support under roof. So it's one component per household. What does that mean? If you don't get the cash grant, then you can be eligible for the government-led repair, which is where the government, led by JDF primarily, and also the international partners that we're working with from Rwanda, Ghana, Guyana, and other people who are coming in, they go and they actually repair the roof. They bring the material, they provide the labor, the management, the transport, everything, and repair the roof. And many times, that value is even more than the $200,000 that you might get through the roof's cash.
So the cash grant is 200,000 per household?
Yes, if you're categorized as major damage. If it's minor damage, it's 75. If it's severe, it's 500,000 per household.
Okay, and so how does one determine whether, so is it that the individual chooses the cash grant or the government-led repair, or?
So the government, all right, so there are two principles that we utilize. Number one, we prioritize severity, meaning the persons who have been impacted the most are the persons who we are going to help first. So the government-led programs, the partner-led programs, the rapidly deployed modular solutions, which is another element, which provide either roof or the full housing solution, are going firstly to the persons who received the greatest damage. The second principle that we use, Abby, is targeting vulnerabilities, which means that if you're someone who is a senior citizen or someone who is a person with disability, then you will be targeted, whether you are in the minor, the major, the severe, to make sure that we can give you as much help as possible. So primarily, we're trying to use the government-led repair program to actually give the material and the labor support to the people who are in those vulnerable categories or the communities that have really been hit hardest. So they won't receive a cash grant, they'll receive a more fulsome solution. However, it's gonna take too long to do that. So you can't do that for everybody. We have assessed more than 75,000 homes now. So if we were to take that route, we'll be here doing that for 5 years. So some persons will get that solution through the government-led repair. Some partners like Food for the Poor will come in, or GEM or other partners, and we will work with them, and they'll also be repairing roofs. For others, they'll receive that full modular solution that you hear the minister talking about. And we say container, but it's a rapidly deployed modular solution. So some 330 of those are coming into Jamaica within the next month. And those are primarily for persons that have lost everything. So that would be a replacement house. So if you get that, for instance, you won't get a cash grant, because that the value of that is even more than the cash grant. You understand what I'm saying? You getting me, Abby?
Yeah. Neighbor, are you getting the clarity that you needed for the roofs? So it's two.
I thought that the minister was going to make the presentation and then
we ask the questions.
Because I'm writing down some questions here for him.
Sure.
Oh,
right, so
okay.
let me finish off. All right. So for this SRP, you have the 6 components: roofs, which is the $10 billion that goes out in cash to minor, major, and severe; government-led repair, which is the repair of roofs led by JDF with our partners; partner-led repair, which is the repair of roofs led by our partners, members of the Humanitarian Assistance Committee like Food for the Poor or GEM. And for instance, in the case of GEM, we're working with them now where they will provide the material, we will provide the labor, and we work together to ensure we can even stretch the money that we have more to give greater support. The fourth would be the housing support through NHT, where NHT has been providing loans, grants, and insurance support, and more than 6,000 persons already, to the tune of more than $320 million under NHT, have received grants to repair their houses already. The other one is the rapidly deployed modular solutions, or what you may say container solutions, where a number of persons will receive those solutions as replacements to what they had before as their shelter. And sixth is relocation or regularization as needed, meaning if you, Abby, lived in an area where you got massive damage, severe damage, but the reality is that where your house was located was part of the reason why you got such bad damage, meaning you were in an area where you really shouldn't have been in the first place. Would it make sense? Would you want the government to help you to rebuild there? I don't think you'd want that, right? So what you'd want is to see if the government could work with you to get an alternative, okay? And many of these persons are informal settlements, so they're very scared to discuss it because, you know, the feeling of squatting and, you know, we don't want to get into any problem with the law. So we understand that, and we're cognizant of that. And so a big part of what we're doing is being sensitive to that need, but acknowledging the fact that we have to put people in a better position. And so the relocation and the regularization will be going through the Housing Agency of Jamaica, working with the NLA, National Land Agency, and other institutions and organizations across government to make sure that we don't put people back in that bad situation. But as much as possible, it won't be for everyone, clearly, but as much as possible, if we can move you into a better state, we want to do that. So those are the 6 components of the shelter recovery program. And remember, as I said to you, it consolidates all of those, and it has principles. If you're in one element, you don't get from the next element. And of course, it makes sense. The goal is to make sure that we can stretch the money and stretch the support as much as possible to give as many people as is possible because of the large group of people who have already gotten support. The last thing I'm going to say is this. There are some people right now saying, boy, Minister, I receive a text message saying that I got $37,000, but I really got severe damage. What kind of thing that? Well, let me tell you, that $37,000 is not a cash grant under the shelter recovery program that we're talking about. That money is an additional money that your government has worked out with the World Food Program, where the World Food Program has come in to give additional support to 16,000 households, touching the lives of about 50,000 people who they define as being in the most vulnerable position. And those persons will get 2 cycles, not one, 2 cycles of $34,000 to $37,000 coming to them. And that is in addition to everything that we have. So if it doesn't matter where you are in the shelter recovery program, if you're deemed by the World Food Program, because we give them our list. If you're deemed as vulnerable, that's an additional money coming to you in addition to what you will get from the government. Secondly, and lastly, UNICEF is also one of our major partners. And if you look on my social media at PCharlesJR, you'll see that I've met with all of these people. This is not happening by coincidence. This is strategic. This is your government working, negotiating for you. UNICEF is coming in addition to World Food Program, to add on top of the money that we are providing to identify 40,000 children on path and give them a top up. And in addition to that, 1,500 children with disabilities also will get some more support through UNICEF to the tune of, I think, over $150 million. So you have a government that is not just caring, but thinking and strategic. And so when people ask, well, Minister, all this big talk about shelter recovery, when does it start? We start a long time. We have started. The government-led repair is ongoing. It has already started. We can show you roofs that are already fixed. The distribution of cash grants has already started from December, meaning more than 6,000 persons have already gotten support through NHT. And we are pushing to start the roofs part, which is a $10 billion by the end of January. So your government is on the move. All of this flows from the assessments that the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has been doing. So when you see us on the road doing these assessments, going house to house to house, if you're not on the assessment list, you cannot be on the benefit list. So I know that there are persons now listening saying, but hold on, you come to my street and I never get assessed. What am I going to do? Well, we understand that, and we learned our lesson from Burial. So the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has created 2 things: a self-reporting tool. So if you have access to the internet, or if you can call Hello Neighbor and beg him to sign you up. You can go on and self-report. We will get information. We will catch you. We'll find you. We will work with you. We'll set a date and come and do the assessment. And if you don't have no access to internet, when we come on the street, we leave a calling card. So we leave a card that says, here is the other ways to contact us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you must be able to find us. And I can tell you it works because more than 5,000 persons have used it so far. That is why you don't hear as much quarreling as you heard during burial. Because we learned the lessons, we have improved, we've upgraded, and we have a better system. I'm going to leave it there, open it out to you guys to ask you some questions, and then I will head out.
Well, Minister, thank you. And thank you for taking a little time out to be available to your people.
Yes.
I appreciate it, sir. Minister, at the launch of the Roofs program, I noticed that the opposition PNP were present. To what extent is the opposition involved, engaged, and are supporting this program?
The opposition would have to speak for themselves in terms of their support for the program. In terms of my interaction with opposition members, I've had no issue generally. You have a few based on personality, not really based on them being opposition, who might be more caustic or skeptical. But that's the same, that's a personality issue, not a political issue. Generally, we've been working together because it's an emergency. They understand that we are the government and that we're the ones who have to develop the programs. And where we have asked for cooperation, we have gotten that cooperation. Let me give you an example. When I went into Darlingston with airlifts and spoke to Dayton Campbell and his counselor about helping me to organize getting the boxes of food kits out to the people, they did a great job. And I said it, and not because it's PNP, I'm not going to tell you, they did a great job. The pictures that we got back showed harmony, synchronization, synergy. Everybody who came got, and it went well. I'm going to juxtapose that with another member of parliament in Westmoreland. We did the same thing, didn't get the same exact outcome. Different spaces, different personalities. But generally, we have been, I think, I'm going to say we, I mean both government and opposition, we have always been focused on trying to get back to normal as best as possible. So I've gotten cooperation with them outside of the comments that are being made when we're not beside each other, which I think is the usual unfortunate politics. We've been working together.
Fantastic. Minister, I note that you said initial $10 billion.
Yes, you know that I always say that.
I note it. And as a matter of fact, I have been pointing out to my listeners that I am noting that, doing an entire program on that word initial. Yes. Minister, are you suggesting that the government is considering adding additional fund to the $10 billion that it has found upfront now? Are you suggesting that?
As Minister of Labor and Social Security, I'm suggesting that the amount of assessments done by my staff members might require the government to exceed the $10 billion in cash grants. And so it is prudent of me to make sure that there is consideration from the start and a qualification so that nobody believes that it is my intention to put a cap. Of course, you can't have unlimited allocations. $10 billion is a lot of money. And so we're going to try our best to work within that range. But just to protect the ministry and to protect the integrity of what we're doing, I say initial because we are now at 75,000 plus assessments. Put that in context. In some of the developed countries, over 3-4 years, they didn't do that many assessments. In Beryl, we hit 19,000 assessments in 6 to 8 months. So it must tell you the amount of improvement and efficiency and coordination that we're using now as opposed to then. But when you have 75,000 assessments, it means you have 75,000 persons, or at least a large portion of those persons who are expecting a benefit. And if it goes up further in the next month, what do? We can't say to Jamaica, well, first come, first serve. We have to find some way of supporting the persons once they are eligible. So that's why we say initial, but of course, as we are prudent to say initial, we're all also realistic that we have to work as best as possible with what the country can afford. And 10 billion is a lot, which is why we have more than one element to the SRP, not just
you know, Minister, I was all listening to you outline that it's not only roofs that is available, but you have government-led repairs, partner-led repairs, housing support from the NHT, rapid container solutions, relocation and regularization as needed. Minister, the government is not doing well as far as informing the people, you know. One of the problems you're having, you know, Minister, is that the society is infested with disinformation.
Yes.
Is there a plan, sir, to pull this together in a more effective way so that people are informed, aware of what the government is doing? Because all I've heard about is roofs.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this. Before the launch, roofs is all you would have perhaps heard about, because we didn't get the opportunity to lay it out to the country until the launch. Now we have to go on a campaign. That is why, hello neighbor, it is 9:19 p.m. I am just coming from Parliament, Garden House. And before Garden House, I was on meetings with the rest of the CARICOM ministers of labor for COSHAD. And before COSHAD, I was on meetings for my sectoral team. And before that, I was on TVJ this morning discussing the same thing. So what I'm saying to you is we are using all methods possible to try to get the word out. I was on Smile Jamaica this morning. I'm with you tonight here on TikTok, getting the word out. And I'm going to be on some other platforms tomorrow. And we're going to continue. I'm going to continue at least as the lead person pushing it to get the word out in every single way possible. And I need everybody who's on to deliver the message. Because as you said, we are fighting an uphill task of persons with an agenda to misinform and to provide the kind of confusion that will let people not want to believe anything that is said. I saw a TikTok this morning of myself, as I said to you, speaking on things which clearly false, but you will have some persons who are vulnerable and susceptible to believing it. So we have to come out and we have to call it out as it is. And we're going to have to do a better job, as you said, in trying to be more consistent with our communication. That's why I'm on this call at 9:20 p.m.
I'm gonna leave you.
I just realized I'm in my jacket.
That's all right.
My apologies.
You're a senior cabinet minister, Minister Charles. Is the government convinced, aware as to the extent of the level of disinformation in the society and how it is hurting the government?
We are aware. I mean, we get the calls every day, and we are trying to make sure that we can combat it, that we provide accurate information, and that we use every platform that is possible. And more needs to be done. We need persons like yourself to jump on board. It cannot be something that is left to the responsibility of the minister. because this misinformation and disinformation and confusion is not just hurting me, it is hurting our country. So that's why I'm saying to everyone that is on this call right now, you, Abby, all of the persons who are influencers need to step up and provide either platforms or use their platforms to pass accurate information to the people that are within their network.
Minister, there is a view that the government have more money and that what it is doing, 75, 200, and 500,000, the pervasive view, Minister, is that you are shortchanging the people. How would you respond to that?
Put it this way. I have come to understand that in the politics, you're always going to have persons who push a counter narrative. And usually a counter narrative is with a very specific agenda. We are in a very competitive democracy. People want power, and they usually want power at any cost, without care of who gets hurt or what information gets out there that is true or false. So I can say to you, we need to take the time to let people know that it's not true. Even though some of the things are ludicrous, because there is even a slight possibility that one or two may believe, I am of the view that as ministers, as government, as leaders, we have to take the time to ensure that we establish what is true and establish what is not true. And that, again, that is why I'm on this call. I'm very tired. I've been up from 4 o'clock, right? But I'm taking the time because it's important to me that the people in our network are armed. When people hear me talking today, they will become armed with the artillery to get out there and to fight against the negative and against the nonsense. So more communication, more consistency. It's my intention that every single week I'm going to do a TikTok live every single week until we're finished this and until we make sure that any question people have, we can answer those questions for them and make sure they're on the right track with the right information.
Yeah, I'm bearing in mind, Minister, that you are tired. So pardon me for rushing. Minister, how did you arrive at these figures? And give me a scenario, please, of a $75,000 beneficiary. What would that house look like? What would the damage for that individual look like? And take me through the 3 phases.
Excellent question. So those figures are computed based on a number of variables. We have experts who are social workers who are trained, not just because of the hurricane, they are out every single day interacting with persons. So they understand the computation in finance of needs, meaning how much money is needed to take care of a family, how much money is needed to take care of a specific situation. So when you look on that value and you juxtapose or compare also what you have in terms of allocation, you're able to come up with a balance, which really is a figure established based on need and capacity, meaning how much money you have in my pocket and how much money you will actually need to do what you want to do. So it is never anticipated that the roofs grant or any grant from the government of that nature is going to be fulsome, meaning we're not expecting to pay back for a whole house. That is why you have some other elements in SRP that provide you with an actual housing, full housing solution. And I forgot to tell you, the social housing program is also a part of the SRP. All right, so it's expected to be an impactful contribution to your restoration. That's why it's important to note that the $75,000 that you find in the minor damage category is not restricted. It's a rehabilitation grant, not a reconstruction grant. Because $75,000 can't build back your house. It's not expected to. It's expected to help you to maybe buy 5 sheets of zinc, a window, it's minor damage. It's where perhaps there's some damage to your door or things of a small nature, but still can have a very large impact if you are somebody who is very vulnerable. So that $75,000 is open. Why do we open it? because many of those persons might have already fixed that issue, but they still have other little things that they need to do. Buy back a book, buy back some bed sheets, a mattress, whatever it is. So you can use that $75,000 almost like cash to do whatever you need. For the other two categories, $75,000 out of each of those categories is similarly for rehabilitation. Meaning, if you get the 200,000, you can do anything you want with the 75. But the remaining amount and the remaining amount in the 500 must be towards repair of the house. And how we manage that is by using a digital platform. So when we send it to you, Hello Neighbor, you will receive it, but we will be able to manage it to know where you use it, when you use it, what you use it to do, and we can actually create restrictions around it so you can only use this grant to apply to certain merchants to get certain products. That's how we're going to make sure that we don't fall into the problem we had last time, but that rather we have persons taking the money to actually repair their home.
Well, Minister, I must tell you the truth. There's a sense of disappointment that I have that a government that is so actively involved in the aspirations of its people is suffering so much. Minister, do you have a public relations campaign prepared and ready to be rolled out to accompany these benefits? Do you have one?
It is something that we are rolling out, and I want to tell you this. I accept. I'm not going to fight you on the fact that we need to do better with our PR, but I want to put it in context. Hello, Neighbor, Abby. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security has been on 4th and 5th gear for 2 years straight. Hurricane Beryl, when everybody else calmed down, the ministry is still moving to get the grants out. For 1 whole year, we have to do that until bam, election. Bam, right after the election, Hurricane Melissa comes. And we start again. So understand that it's not an excuse. I'm telling you the reality. We have had to focus on getting the work done. And it's very important what you're saying, that in the midst of doing the work, if you don't balance the communication, the work is going to go to naught. Well, so you're 100% right. I accept, and I accept, and I accept. And we have identified persons who are coming in externally because we realize we can't do it on our own.
Yes.
We're focused. We are focused on getting the work done. So we have to bring in external persons to come in and to help us to do this. So hopefully within the next week or two, you are going to see a difference in the communication. As I've made a commitment, and I've made a commitment to Abby as well, that no matter what I'm doing, no matter what big communication or small communication, this space here that has been created will be a space where I will always avail myself as a minister to be tackled with the tough questions. I'm not one who shies away from questions, right?
Congratulations, sir. I have one more question, Minister. But what if I tell you, Minister, that it is the very success of the government that is its Achilles heel? Because when you raise expectations...
They're frozen.
You're hearing me, Minister?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah. When you raise the expectations of people, you see, Minister, you have to create monuments. Anyway, leave that alone. I'm going to take you down to Westmoreland, sir. Yeah. The Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland says that the people, my words, are squatters. They don't own the land. They were living on lands that don't belong to them. And it is the parish that is almost mostly affected. How is the government treating with these benefits to people who don't have no land?
So the persons who are informal settlers, those matters will be dealt with case by case, because there never can be a general approach to those matters. It depends on a number of variables. How long have they been there? What's the nature of the occupancy? What is it that they have there in terms of what have they settled with? Where have they settled? Is it a space that is safe, despite the fact that it might not be theirs officially? So there are a number of different things which mean you can't generalize in treating with that scenario. And that's why the Housing Agency of Jamaica is going to be coming in, because they are the experts. The HHA is the government agency that is mandated to treat with the regularization of those matters. And I can tell you, because I served as Minister of Housing, only person who, other than the Prime Minister, served in that capacity. And when he asked me to be Minister of Housing, we started what was a squatter, well, not informal settlement survey. We call it squatter survey. Should have changed the name at the time, but a squatter survey to identify where people settled informally and to make sure that we could not just identify it geographically, but dig down into the situation and to see how we can help to regularize those persons, how we can help to give them what you call tenure, T-E-N-U-R-E, because we want persons to have security of tenure. When you have security of tenure, you have something you can pass down generation to generation. There's more certainty. You feel more protected, and there are multiple benefits that flow from it for you and for your family.
Well, Minister, I think you deserve to get some rest at this time. But by the way, you're one of a kind, you know, sir, because you are in a class by yourself. Not many of your colleagues are. Well, let's not criticize them at all. But I appreciate the little time yourself.
And I'm here, man, and I appreciate you guys, because you get out things to persons in a way that I may not have the capacity on my own to get it out. And the conversation is good because it makes what we're seeing interesting. It packages the meal in a palatable way. And, you know, we appreciate it. And as I said to you, the tough questions are not only to bowl me, but this is what the people want to hear, is what they're asking. And when you or Abby asks the questions, it sometimes allows me to go back and think, you know, and it helps in terms of structuring the policies. So we appreciate it.
There are many people, Minister, that want to help the government. I tell you, Minister, I've looked into this matter. This information is it's killing Jamaica. Well, killing is a bad word, but it's a massive problem, sir. But you can overcome that with a coordinated approach to giving out information, the correct information, sir. And there are many people who want to help, Minister. Just reach out, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help.
Well, again, you know, thanks to you guys. If there's anybody listening, I know that there are a lot of persons who are asking questions in the live. I'm going to ask Abby to perhaps take on a few of the questions, and I can try at the next live to answer them in the introduction. Many persons have questions about farm work. So every time I come out, I'm going to speak about farm work, just to make sure that we get the message out. Many persons have questions about solidarity as well. And so at the next TikTok live, I'll have a full discussion around solidarity, because we have started to make payments on solidarity now. So people are asking, where's their money? Where's their money? So listen out for that. All right?
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. All right.
Okay, Minister, bye.
Have a great evening, sir. Want to get something to eat, and best wishes to you and your family. Say good evening to your father for me, Senior Charles. He's the senior one, eh? You're the junior.
I will.
Michelle. But by the way, sir, tell Michelle I want to talk to her.
I'm not putting Michelle on no. No, man. I'm locking Michelle up. When you see her, tell her I'm locking her up. She's locked in her room. She's not to come out.
Yo, I think you know what I'm talking about.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, sir.
All right, Minister, bye.
That's the sort of
Neighbor, I had.
Go ahead.
So I need to follow up with Minister Samuda, and I should follow up with Minister Samuda because he promised to come back on, and Minister Morgan. Yeah, so I need to follow up with them, and as soon as I get some confirmation,
Let's Morgan.
Yes. So as soon as I get confirmation from them as to the time and date, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you used to be in media, Abby. You used to read news on TVJ. Give me your views on the whole matter of disinformation and what impact you think it has on a society like Jamaica, considering, for example, the level of education that we have. What's happening?
Listen, I mean, in media, you know, you have competitors in media, so a lot of times you have people or entities racing to break the story first. So sometimes the first information they get, they just run and put it out with even fact checking or anything, you know, and oftentimes that gets people in trouble because you have to retract statements or sometimes it's too far gone. And I mean, in this day and age where people are so gullible and they believe everything, especially when they have their own agenda, it's doing a great disservice, man. It's doing a great disservice. I don't even know how we're going to fix this.
Did you know that there are allegations, Abby, that the PNP are paying people to tell lies?
Oh Lord, yeah, I've heard about that.
Can you countenance that? Do you understand the gravamen, how serious that is to the democracy? How can a political party that expects to lead someday be coordinating and paying people to lie?
I mean, if that is true, that's very sad and it's very distasteful, man. And if you're willing to go that low.
But if it is not true, sorry, let's say if it is not true, why has the party not disassociated itself from some of them? Because clearly they are comrades. They carry the party line, and the party hasn't come out to say we don't support you. Rather, they go on their platforms and chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it don't look good. It don't look good. I mean, if these things are true, right? I mean, if these things are true and they're willing to play these games so low and so dirty while in opposition, I mean, imagine the things they'll do when they actually have power.
You're a young girl, Abby. You're a young girl. Have you ever seen it this bad?
No, to be honest, no. No. And I mean, even in, I don't know if it's because more people are utilizing social media now, especially with the rise of TikTok, while we're seeing it so frequent. But I mean, in 2020, when I was working as communications coordinator for Pearnel Charles Jr. in his 2020 elections, things weren't this bad. Things were not this bad, I can tell you. And I was underground, I was everywhere with him. I was at political meetings, I was constantly in the media space, monitoring media platforms and all of that, and it was never this bad. It wasn't this bad. I guess it's because so much more people have access, so much more people going on social media now. And then, I mean, it's so much easier to spread misinformation and to form your own agendas and all of that. It's just, I've never seen it this bad.
Finally, Abby, what is the solution to this? How can it be counteracted, overcome, even defeated?
I mean, the government, them have to just come out and go hard. I don't know. They need to amp up their PR. No, seriously, they need to amp up their PR as well. I mean, opposition and go hard, government need to go harder.
Well,
Trust me.
that's exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's exactly what needs to happen. There are so many things that are best kept secret, Abby. By the way, Abby, really commend you for pulling the ministers out and getting them to talk. Really, you have such great talent, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna be reading news now.
I did the news already.
Read the news. What's in the news?
Let's see if I can remember. Oh my God, COVID really messed up my memory. There was a murder suicide in Harborview. What else did I see? The two municipal council staff members, they have actually been charged. You heard last week that they were arrested for
Yes.
cocaine possession. They have been charged. The female, she has been charged, but the male is still in hospital because they expelled 82 pellets of cocaine from his stomach.
Oh my.
82 pellets of cocaine from his stomach. So he's still in hospital, but the lady, she has been charged. I think her court date is sometime this month. Yeah, her court date is sometime this month. I mean, for good news, I think our bobsleigh team qualified for the Winter Olympics. That's some good news. What else did I see? For those who missed it, Third World co-founder for Third World Band, Stephen Katcore, he passed away. He was only 60 years old. What else am I seeing? Oh yeah, IMF giving us some money.
Yes.
For hurricane relief. Yeah, they're giving us a lot of money.
I think
So that's 415 million US. Yeah. So that's a good thing. Also, they launched a program where parents are allowed to spend more time with their children at the Bustamante Hospital for Children.
That's fantastic, eh, man?
Yeah, they get to stay till 10 p.m. Yeah. And I think I saw something, I think since the start of the year, let me tell you, the amount of people that have been killed by the security forces since in the first 19 days of the year. How many? I think it's 21. Let me get the number correct. But it's not looking good at all. When I see these killings, I always ask myself, are all these people guilty of something? Like, tell me, some people life are scratch them that every time you see a group of police are come, you just pull a firearm. So you're one man and you see a group of police, and as you see them come, you just pull your weapon. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't comment on those things, Abby, because I don't have the facts.
Yeah, same. But I always wonder, I just ask.
When you raise the hypothetical, the fact of the matter is that what we need to do is to strengthen our institutions like Indicom. Let them do the investigation, and we wait on those reports.
Yeah. They are also, I think by the way,
the dishonest PNP. I see Mr. Perry online there. Then dishonest PNP lie. Mr. PNP then lie so till. You don't get into no trouble, like we'll tell them, then lie PNP then lie, you see.
Oh God.
Mr. Perry, they need to form a ministry of lie. By the way, you're not a preacher, man, sir. Pray for the PNP, them, man. They do lie. I see them now talking about murders down. Don't mean that people feel safe, right? So that's the spin the liar them putting on it,
So what does it mean? So what does it mean then?
In other words, there is no correlation with citizens' safety, feeling secure, and murders being done. What are people themselves?
Okay.
Yeah, what are people themselves? I mean, come on. That's it. That's the latest spin that Jamaicans don't feel safe. That means murders don't mean nothing. Yeah.
I mean, so if it doesn't mean anything, why do you always counter the government's crime plan then if crime going down doesn't mean anything?
Yeah. You know, ma'am, Peter Bunting, you know, threw his hands up in the air, waved the flag of surrender, and prayed, called for divine intervention. Mr. Bunting, he was one of the only security ministers that couldn't protect himself. You know that?
I remember hearing that, yeah.
You hear it? Is that a joke? He couldn't even protect himself, ma'am. Yeah. Much less we could protect Jamaica. It's a Bunting. Anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, we will keep in touch. As soon as I get confirmation from Minister Samuda and Minister Morgan, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Also, I do not support corruption. A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons up taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with
I don't have the time to talk to Golden tonight. Golden? Golden, be quiet. You hear me? Golden, I think you should be quiet. Anyway, Caroline, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you, Neighbour.
Yes. 10 minutes to 10 o'clock. Let's see if we can add half hour. No, let's see if we can add half hour. Can you post the Zelle account for me though, please? Because I'm gonna have to get some support here for the next hour, you know. Golden. How much money? By the way, I see Mr. Perry is here.
Gosh, I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting.
Political connect. A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
Oh gosh, I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will.
Oh gosh, I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting.
Be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads
gosh. I can't believe me high. Boy,
Let's go in. Let's go in. We're asking five. It's 4 or 5. We need 5 of our listeners to to send $20 to Zelle. 5 of our listeners, please respond to this call, please. 954-635-8732. Let's go into the notes and rub up until 10:30.
oh gosh. I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting.
Anyway, the sound of a solitary piano echoes through the dimly lit auditorium, followed by a hushed murmur in the crowd. Let's go into this. I probably should go to the calls because, if I start this, I'm going to have to go for an hour and a half. So, you know what? Let's pick this up tomorrow. Let's open the lines. Open the lines for me, moderator.